The Havoc Rover is one of the strongest characters in the game that can deal very high damage in a short duration with his ultimate skill and has decent on-field damage too. And he is completely free. This video is a complete build guide for the Havoc Rover and covers everything you need to know about him. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. I will address Rover with male pronouns as I am using the male Rover. Rover gets 4-day circuit stacks when you hit an enemy with his basic attacks, cast resonance skill, or cast his intro skill. After his 4-day circuit is fully filled, using a heavy attack will make the Rover enter into Dark Surge state. This heavy attack is called as Heavy Attack Devastation. During this state, all of his basic attacks are enhanced, and his resonance skill is also replaced by an enhanced skill, which has higher multipliers. The Dark Surge state lasts for 10 seconds, and the skill has a cooldown of 12 seconds, so you will only be able to cast the enhanced skill once. The enhanced resonance skill also restores the 4-day circuit stacks, which lets you extend the Dark Surge state by 2 seconds. So you should avoid using the resonance skill at the beginning of this state and use it towards the end. All his inherent passive buffs are tied to this Dark Surge state. His first inherent passive increases his Havoc damage bonus by 20% in the Dark Surge state, so you should always try to use his ultimate in this state to get more damage. More about his rotations later. His second inherent passive recovers 1 resonance energy for 1 basic attacks hit in the Dark Surge state. This can be triggered every 1 second. This passive is amazing as Rover's Resonance Liberation makes up for a huge portion of his damage. His Resonance Liberation is a nuke. It has a very high damage multiplier and crosses 1000% at level 5. It has a low cooldown of 16 seconds and energy cost of 125. Rover can be played in 2 ways. One is as a main on-field DPS, and the other one is as a quick swap DPS because he has many skills that can be swap cancelled. You can swap cancel his normal resonance skill. You can swap cancel the heavy attack that we use when his 4-day circuit is filled to enter the Dark Surge state. You can swap cancel the enhanced resonance skill. The normal heavy attack can be swap cancelled as well, although we won't be using it much, but it's good to know. For his talent leveling priority, level both 4-day circuit and the liberation, followed by his resonance skill, then basic attacks, and lastly the intro skill. Moving on to his sequences. The best part about Rover sequences is they are free. Currently, we only have access till his S2, but we will get more sequences with the upcoming updates. Hopefully we can get his S6 in 1.1. His first sequence increases his resonance skill damage bonus by 30%. The second sequence is a huge upgrade. It resets his skill cooldown after entering the Dark Surge state. This is very useful as you can cast the resonance skill right before entering the Dark Surge state, and then activate it to reset the skill cooldown. Sequence 3 is just some self-healing. His S4 is amazing. It reduces the Havoc resistance of enemies by 10% for 20 seconds when the Heavy Attack Devastation. That is the heavy attack that we use to enter the Dark Surge state and his Resonance Liberation hits. I believe the Havoc Resistance Shred is counted separately as the description says Heavy Attack Devastation and Resonance Liberation, so we can get a total of 20% Havoc Resistance Shred. The 5th sequence just gives some additional damage. And the 6th sequence is a huge upgrade. It gives a massive 25% crit rate increase in the Dark Surge state. Moving on to his weapons. The best weapon for the Rover is the 5-star standard banner weapon, Emerald of Genesis. This weapon has crit rate as its secondary stat. Additionally, it gives energy regen and attack buff from its passive. Commando of Conviction is an amazing alternative to this weapon and the best 4-star due to the easy-to-meet condition of its passive. It can get closer to the 5-star option if you have it at max refinement. Other 4-star options that you can use are the Looming Gloss or the Lunar Cutter. The craftable option Sword 18 is also a decent option as it has attack stats. And lastly, if you are just starting out, you can use the R5 Sword of Night as a placeholder till you get the better options. Moving on to his echo sets and skills. Just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying this video so far, do consider liking this video and sharing it. Subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. The echo skill you always want to use on the Havoc Rover is the Dreamless. This skill is one of the reasons why the Havoc Rover is so good. It generates a good amount of resonance energy, deals very high damage, can be immediately swap cancelled right after it's cast. You always want to use this echo and immediately swap to a different character to swap cancel this skill as it takes a lot of time to do its attacks. so you would mostly want to use it at the end of his rotation. You will be missing out on a lot if you don't use this skill. One more reason why this Echo skill is so good on the Rover is because it deals 50% more damage if it is casted within 5 seconds of using the Rover's ultimate. For the Echo set, the best one to use would be 5-piece Sun-Sinking Eclipse. If you don't have 5-piece of this set, you can mix and use 2-piece Sun-Sinking Eclipse with 2-piece Lingering Tunes. The reason why I don't recommend 5-piece Lingering Tunes is because it won't let you use the Dreamless Echo skill. Before moving on to the Echo stats, let's talk about his energy requirements. His burst has a low energy cost of 125, and thanks to the second inherent passive, you can get away with no energy regen if played correctly. But as we all know, the enemies of this game are very aggressive, so try to have around 10% energy regen to be on the safer side. For a quick swap playstyle, try to get 10 to 20% energy regen. If you complete one basic attack combo in his Dark Surge state, you can go for the lower amount. For his Echo stats, crit rate or damage on 4-cost Echo. On the 3-cost Echoes, you can go for double Havoc damage, or a combination of 1 Havoc damage and 1 attack percent is not far behind. It is only around 2% worse, and attack percent on 1-cost Echo. Alternatively, you can use a 4-4-1-1-1 Echo combination. The main skill will be Dreamless, and the other 4-cost Echo will be the Crownless. Use crit rate on one Echo and crit damage on the other one. It is 6 to 7% worse than the 4-3-3-1-1 pattern, but is easier to farm. For the substats, get energy regen until required. Just 1 to 2 rolls should be enough. Then focus on crit stats, followed by attack percent and flat attack. Basic attack damage, resonance liberation, and skill damage can be decent too. Moving on to his team comps. For the main DPS variant, you would want to use buffers that can help maximize your Rover's damage. For the sub-DPS slot, Danjin is the best partner with the Havoc Rover. Her Havoc damage deepen buffs all of Rover's attacks. Danjin can also use the Dreamless Echo skill, which you can swap cancel and deal tons of damage. Yinlin deals very strong off-field damage. Her electro damage buff is wasted, but the resonance liberation damage deepen is very useful. Since Rover's basic attacks makes up for a large portion of his damage, Sanhua is a great buffer for him due to her 38% basic attack damage deepen buff. Sanhua takes up very less field time to fill up her concerto, and if you have her S6, she can give 20% attack buff, making her an excellent teammate for the Rover. Jinshin can provide crowd control from her liberation, which is very useful in multi-target scenarios, as it allows you to hit all the enemies with the Rover's ultimate. Her 38% resonance liberation damage deepen is also very useful. She can also provide shields aiding in survivability. Mortefi is also a good option for sub-DPS. His heavy attack buff is not utilized here, but he can deal some good off-field damage. And for the last slot, you can use a sustained support like Verena, Baiji, or Jinshin. And for the quick swap playstyle, you pair the Rover with another character that has many swap cancel windows. Encore, Yinlin, and Calchero are some of the best options. You can also pair them with fast hybrid DPS characters like Mortefi or Sanhua and swap into them during every window of the Rover that can be swap cancelled. And the last slot is Flex that can be used by sustained supports like Jinshin, Verena, or Baiji. Moving on to his rotations. Rover's rotations are very simple. During the preparation phase, where you are preparing your supports, filling their concerto energy bar, getting their liberation ready, you want to swap into Rover to use his resonance skill at least once. You also want to hit the enemies with some of his basic attacks whenever you get the chance. This will fill some of his 4-day circuit bar and help you stack the 5-piece Sun-Sinking Eclipse set. It will also help you build some resonance and concerto energy. After the preparation is done, you fill your support's concerto bar, use their Echo skills, and intro to Rover. Use his resonance skill. Use a heavy attack to enter the Dark Surge state and spam basic attacks till the Dark Surge state is almost over. Make sure to dodge the enemy's attacks to survive. Keep an eye on the 4-day circuit bar and when the Dark Surge state is about to end. Use the resonance skill to increase its duration. You can optionally swap cancel this skill cast, but you mostly don't want to do it if you have buffs like Danjin's Havoc damage deepen or Jinshin's liberation damage buff. But you can do it if you are in danger or don't have any buffs that you need. Then use the Rover's ultimate, followed by the Dreamless Echo skill, and immediately swap cancel it. You can also go with a shorter rotation like intro into the Rover, Use the Resonance skill, Heavy Attack to enter Dark Surge state. Use his Liberation, then his Resonance skill again. Use the Dreamless Echo skill and swap cancel. For the quick swap playstyle, you would want to keep swapping between your characters and use their skills on cooldown and try to fill the Rover's 4-day circuit bar. If you get larger windows, like with Encore or Yinlin, you can spend a bit more time with the Rover and use some of his basic attacks. With characters like Calchero, the swap cancel windows are very tight, so you would want to make the rotations very fast. My showcase here is not the best as I don't usually use this team. You can make a combination of these rotations and use them depending on your situation. Havoc Rover is very easy to play with good damage output for a free character. We also get his sequences for free. Although we don't currently have all of his sequences, we will eventually get them. He has different playstyles, making him flexible and deals very high damage in a short time thanks to his extremely strong ultimate. While his on-field damage is nice, it falls behind other top-tier 5-star DPS characters or 4 stars with higher sequences. Nevertheless, he is one of the best characters to invest in and can easily carry you. And that's all for this video. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to check out my other guides. Make sure to like and share the video and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.